what are you going to do with all the time that we now have on our hands given this current situation with COVID-19? Now, pretty much any way you slice it, whether you're working from home because you still have a job and that's the way your job is set up, or quite frankly, anybody, we're going to have a lot more time on our hands for an indefinite, lengthy amount of time. We're not going out to dinner or to bars or to theaters or to sporting events or any of these other things. We've got extra time. All right, so what can you do with it constructively? Here's an idea. So many people since I've started ProBoomer have said, oh, I get what you're saying. You know, this phase of life that was called retirement, well, traditional retirement doesn't cut it for most people. It's a new reality. There are new opportunities out there. You need more. You certainly need more money because most boomers do not have enough money with which to maintain anywhere close to their current lifestyle through a long and healthy life ahead. But I just don't have time to deal with it right now. Now you have time to deal with it. And it can even help mitigate what we're going to be going through, being stuck and having so much of our typical lifestyle cut off from us. Use this time to start doing the self-assessment of like, okay, what am I going to do with the next 30, 40, 50 years of my life in which I'm going to be healthy and engaged and the world has changed? What am I going to do with it to earn money, to be relevant, to leave a legacy? Now's the time to start that process. Starting the process is the hardest part, but once you get going, it becomes thrilling, it becomes exciting, and it gives you something to be engaged in and be thinking about. It's like, okay, well, how do I get started? Well, there are so many sources out there, and ProBoomer is certainly one of them. Just look at the interviews, the vodcasts, and the downloadable podcasts that we have on our site that can help you through this entire process. So, for instance, on ProBoomer, we have people like Robert Foley, former executive and now retirement coach, or Robert Lower, founder of the Retirement Coaches Association, who talk about the problems with traditional retirement now and bringing the kind of awareness that can help you avoid it or get out of it. Also, incredible experts such as Chris Farrell, who writes for Next Avenue and is a reporter for Marketplace on NPR, who will give you an eye-opening view of the new state of affairs in the economy and the business, the opportunities, as well as the challenge that people over 50 face. Similarly, Rich Eisenberg, who probably knows more about what's going on with people over 50, writing for Next Avenue, than almost anyone else. Ashton Applewhite and her Manifesto against AGEISM from her best-selling book, This Chair Rocks, and how overcoming ageism can so positively affect our entire society, the health of everyone, and our economy. Then there's the question of, what do I do? Again, we've got a number of people who can really help you get started with solid tools. Let's start with John Anderson. John brings his business and executive experience to Replace Retirement, the name of his book. And it's really a method with which to find a purposeful life and leave a lasting legacy, which so many of us are interested in doing in this phase of life. And trying to figure out what to do, what about following my passion? Well, what the hell does that mean? Elena Love answers it. She's actually come up with a methodology with the University of Michigan to define the true things that you want and need within yourself to have a fulfilling life. Dorian Mincer, who is a very prevalent person in this space, who is a coach and an author, can talk about revolutionizing retirement and how to do it. We also have an interview called The 10 Must-Have Conversations that couples must have together. It's a big deal. There's a huge spike of people who have retired and they're getting a divorce. Why? Because the relationship changes. These conversations are critical. Now let's say you want to start a business. Well, there are certain fundamentals that you should really know before you get into it. My interview with Stuart Nelson, who was one of my mentors, who is a serial entrepreneur, an investor, a coach, an advisor, including with the University of Michigan's Ross School of Business. Also, how boomers can leverage their leadership abilities. Listen to John Baldoni, who is a leadership expert, coach, speaker, and author. Then it comes to finding a job, or keeping a job, or changing your career, or changing your working situation. We have numerous experts on ProBoomer. starting with Dr. Jillian Latham, who can talk about how to think different about your job situation or a new potential job or your career. John Tarnoff, the author of Boomer Reinvention, How to Create a Dream Career Over 50. Back to Elena Love, who is a former top HR executive with a major global pharmaceutical company, who can talk about the experience and the talent and the skills that boomers can leverage in the workplace. And overcoming age defeatism, have you even heard of that? Well, we all have it to one degree or another. David Cooley, who is an executive coach and a career coach, both in private practice and with UCLA's Anderson School of Management, can really help you, as he calls it, connect the dots to find that way to get that job that you need, even though, or especially if, you're over 50 years of age. And then one of those things, by the way, is personal branding, which simply is just letting people know that you exist and what you have to offer. Well, a co-mentor of mine is globally renowned personal branding coach, Dr. Natalia Wachensky. And we talk about personal branding, especially as it relates to boomers. And there's so much more on ProBoomer. Please subscribe to it. It's free. Go to ProBoomer.com, click the subscribe button, follow us on Facebook, ProBoomers with an S, and also Paul Long, L-O-N-G, on LinkedIn. And take advantage of this time to lay the groundwork, to get excited, to have something to engage with all this extra time in terms of the years ahead. Our goal is to make sure the years ahead are some of your best, but it is also to prepare for the fact that our world, our economy, business, jobs, the workplace is going to be radically different when we get through this. And going through these measures will up your game and up yourself to be prepared and to adapt and to even flourish with the radical changes that are about to come. And one more thing to do with your time. Contribute to people, neighbors, friends, or just people that you come across. Find some way, any way, small or large, so that we can all help each other. We have an amazing society. We have come together before in a crisis and helped each other. It's brought out the best of us. And it takes a little bit of effort by all of us to make sure that the outcome is as best as it can possibly be.